What is good, my beautiful people? My name is Kenny Yorstar, host of TNT Sports, What I Wore. Now, we are joined by a certified legend in this thing, okay? Double Premier League and FA Cup winner. One of the coldest between the sticks, with a stash to even rival Super Mario.
And that was a brilliant save from Seaman.
So how about we get this show on the road? I'm joined by Arsenal and England legend. You guessed it. It's the man himself, David Seaman, on What I Wore. Let's get in, David. Let's go.
Well, yeah. I love that intro.
Doing, sir?
That's a good intro.
Well, I tend to be the man for intros. So it's
Super Mario attack.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
that.
telling you, rivaling the best. So what we're going to do is quite simple, David. You can see we're going to try to go as far back from the beginning.
Oh, wow. I've just seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some really iconic jerseys here. We're going to go through the years. We're going to speak about some of your fashion choices, your iconic looks over the years. But it's always good to take it to the beginning, where it started. So let's talk about Leeds and what Leeds means to you.
Look at that.
Leeds United.
Look, the tash was there.
I know. You still needed a bit of... there's some guts there.
I didn't go out on a windy day. It might have blown off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For me, as a kid, you know, I've always been a Leeds fan. And, you know, I had a choice when I was 16 of either going to Leeds United as a goalkeeper or going to Yorkshire as a fast bowler.
Oh, wow.
And obviously I chose Leeds as a Leeds fan. And I remember, so my first team photograph when I was an apprentice, no apprentices were allowed any facial hair, and that was the first time that I ever shaved my tash off. So that's probably my third year. So like my first year as a pro, you know, then I was allowed to keep it on because I was a pro then. So like, you know, that was, yeah, look at the hair. There's a lot of hair there, isn't there?
There's a lot of hair in there.
Yeah. But it was, you know, like that time was special for me because as a Leeds fan, I actually got to be in the Leeds United first team photo. Me and John Lukey. You know, which, like, further down the line, we'll talk about John. You know, we used to train together at Leeds. I was 16, he was, 18, 19. You know, so we trained together. And then me and him were the two goalkeepers of Leeds United. I've got the first team photo. I've got it on my phone. Literally 2 or 3 months later, I got released, and I was devastated.
Is it true that before you went to Arsenal, Fergie tried to sign you at United?
It's true.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I was walking around a lake. I used to live in Ivor. In Buckinghamshire. I was walking around the lake with my dog and I was looking for fish, as I still do now.
As you do.
and my phone went and it was Brian Robson. And at that time I was at QPR, but my contract was running out, you know, so I was going to be leaving anyway. And he said, oh, I've got somebody wants to speak to you. I was like, who? And he went to the manager, Sir Alex. He says, I can't come in for you now because it'll upset my goalies at the time and blah, blah, blah. He said, but I'll come in for you at the end of the season. And I was like, wow. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to be a Man United player. You know, and I was happy with that.
Of course, you were fixated on playing for United.
But literally, two or three days later, Arsenal actually made a bid for me. You know, because Sir Alex wanted me to go on a free, really. But Arsenal then came in, made a bid.
They're ready to pay.
QPR accepted the bid.
Yeah.
You know, and at that time it was like 1.3 million, a British record for a goalie.
Oh, look at David making them records.
They're nearly earning that a week now, aren't they?
Imagine, yeah, it's true, to be fair.
But, you know, so then that was my choice, you know, so I go to Arsenal, then I know QPR are getting some money for me. You know, I was happy, my family and that were already settled in London for 4 years while I've been at QPR, so I was so happy.
When you think about iconic Arsenal jerseys, you know, again, now it's a style thing now. The trends have gone full circle, and what you would have been wearing in the 90s, early noughties, now is the trend. What comes at you? That one instantly. Why that one? Why have you picked that one up, David?
A lot of people remember this because of the star.
Okay.
Because of the big star.
How did you feel about that?
I was all right with it. If you ever get a picture, a full-length picture of me with this on, the socks are like they're like women's tights. They were that thin. You could see like the hairs on my legs through them. That is my favourite Arsenal shirt. You know, I'd never forget that because that's the one that I wore. You know, that picture there is exactly, and I've got a little white T-shirt on underneath that. If you could just see.
Right there, yeah.
And that T-shirt was my lucky T-shirt that I kept for years, and it had got BW on it, and it was Bob Wilson's old training top.
Wow.
And I wore that for years and years.
Let's talk about legends you played with.
Yes.
Tell me about this guy.
Mr. Captain.
On to Adams. This would be a fairy story.
Tony was Tony, you know, he was brilliant. Great motivator.
Yeah.
And just, you know, like we all know Tony's a proper player, motivator, you know, the guy.
He seemed always up for it.
Yeah, you know, and then he used to get everybody else up for it as well. But sometimes he'd be up for it when he was playing rubbish. You know what I mean? And we'd be like, hang on a minute, Tony, you're playing he'd be like, yeah, okay, all right, I get it. You know, but that was the thing, you could talk to Tony and he would listen. But, you know, that back four, the back four that I had, you know, Dixon, Adams, Bold, Winterburn, that was epic. You know, that it doesn't get any better than that. And it weren't through luck, it was through sheer hard work with George Graham.
Wow. Don't get back fours like that no more. I'll show you this, you think who?
Don't know, like Arsene Wenger, I think, a little bit. You know, is the zip worn out?
Of course, well, it has to be worn out, or else it's not an Arsene Wenger classic if it isn't it? Yeah, it's worn out,
Yeah. He needed Velcro, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, but that, you know, Arsene with that, you know, some of his jackets were legendary, you know, there's a picture there of him, you know, me making him laugh. You know,
but he's a genius, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah. And do you know what else as well is that he's a gentleman. He's a really nice guy away from football. Really? Yeah, you know, but he was still a great guy during football, but a genius. And they have their ways, and you know, he would take every single training session. The only training sessions he missed were when he was in front of the FA for me, when he was in trouble.
Fair play. Okay, can we talk rivalries?
Yes.
Let's talk rivalries. Okay.
Here we go.
You ready?
Big Peter.
Because when I think David Seaman, and I think of the rival on the opposite sticks.
Yeah.
I think Peter Schmeichel.
No, exactly. You know, and like what we said about, you know, when I had a chance of going to Man United, you know, obviously I'd signed for Arsenal, they went straight in for Peter. When I went to Man City, right, so I go to Man City, his son Casper's like 16, 17.
And he's on the come up.
So he's training with us, right? And so then I'm watching Casper, like, doing some drills. Casper's like catching this ball like that, and I'm like, Casper, you can't do that technique, it's rubbish. And then I was like, your dad does that, doesn't he? Anyway, yeah, and I went, keep doing it, mate.
Yeah,
it works.
Come on, that's it. Again. Okay, let's focus on. Oh, I got one for you. This was going to be a good one. I want to see what you say about this guy.
Oh God, 3.5 minutes. That's what I say about that.
Now will it fall for Fowler? And the shot has gone in. Surely yes. Fowler 3, Arsenal 0. Seaman can't believe it.
Wow, Robbie Fowler.
I know. He was one of them guys that like
gave you nightmares, didn't he?
Scored past me all the time, like little tap-ins. 3.5 minutes at Anfield, he scored a hat-trick past me. So
yeah, still gives you sleepless nights.
No.
It's in the past now.
I've been fishing with him a couple of times as well, and Robbie's a good lad. He's good fun.
All right, let's talk about style then.
I know.
Righty is iconic.
He
for the
knows.
style.
Look,
he designed
here we go.
this, and look at that.
I loved that. I was so happy. When look at the photo. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Look at me doing some posing.
Oh, you're looking like a racist in their prime. I must say, David, you look like you're about to drop an album next week.
No, you've not heard me sing, obviously.
Just saying. 10 marks of style.
I love this. This was ace. And as soon as... and then when I went to do the photo shoot with him and that lot, and they gave me like a little goodie bag, and I took it home, and my daughter was like, "That's mine, Dad."
Yeah, instantly.
So Georgina, my daughter, nicked it.
Okay, let's talk about Arsenal's current form right now. Let's of course, this season's jersey.
Yeah.
David Raya.
Yes.
He's doing an amazing job, ain't he?
He's having a fantastic season already, and that's on top of what he did last season as well. You know, and he was under pressure. When he first came, you know, Aaron was brilliant. There's no doubt about it. Mikel saw something else that he wanted from a goalkeeper.
It was a bold move, wasn't it?
It was a very bold move, you know, and it was a surprising move because, you know, of what Aaron had done before, you know, he got in the Premier League's team of the season, you know, voted by the players, so that shows how good he was. And then he plays, what, I think 5, 6 games, and then he was out, you know, and then David came in and and has brought a new, like, a calmness to playing as a goalkeeper, I think. And what I like about him as well is he's really confident on crosses.
Yeah.
And when he comes out for it, he ain't just punching it. He's catching it. He's claiming it. Yeah. So he's killing the situation right there. Love this, by the way. I love the blue.
Yeah, of course. I think Adidas has done a really good job with Arsenal over the last few years, for sure. I got to ask you, do Arsenal get it done this season? Honestly.
Whoever finishes above City are going to win it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough. We took 4 points off City last season. That wasn't the problem. It was us against the other teams, losing to like Villa and Brighton. I think, a couple of other teams where games that we should have won and we slipped up. But we've got a great chance. We are genuine contenders. We are proper contenders, that's why I joined this club. We've got a chance of winning things.
Oh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. All right, let's talk about your best save. I mean, again, my opinion, I think this. For many reasons. I mean, 39?
39.
39?
Yeah, and captain, look, armband on.
FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah, 39. It was my 1,000th appearance. So, yeah, it was good times. And when you watch that on YouTube, as I have millions of times, watch my face when I get up. Because, like, my face is like deadpan. How, like, goalkeepers now make saves and they cheer as though they've scored a goal and all that sort of thing. Yeah. My face is just like deadpan, and I'm like, right, let's get on with it. Peter Schmeichel was watching it and he said it's the best save he's ever seen live, so...
Really?
Yeah, and it was, it made it special. It made it special because, like you say, I was 39 and I was at the stage of my career where I was getting, quite a bit of negative press about how old I was and was I past it. And then I go and do that.
What about your time in Man City? How was that for you?
Yeah, it was strange, because it felt different, like massively different. And when I left Arsenal, and I'd heard other players say that when you leave Arsenal, you realise how good Arsenal is. The weirdest thing, and what I remember about this, is when we played Arsenal, this game here, and I'm in the tunnel, right? And I'm like, I think Sylvain Distin was a cat. I'm in the tunnel. Yeah. Patrick's there next to me in there, and all I can think about, I'm in the tunnel, and I'm thinking to myself, don't throw it to an Arsenal player. Don't throw it to an Arsenal player. Because I've been doing it for like 13 years or so.
It's muscle memory at that point.
And the weird thing is, obviously, like, Thierry scored there, and then Man City equalised, right? And me being me, wanting to prove people wrong, like prove Arsene wrong for letting me go and blah, 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 I'm giving, like that. And Thierry looked back, he went, what are you doing, Davey? Like, oh.
Wearing the England jersey, what did that mean to you the first time you
Oh, it's massive. It's huge. Like, I made my debut in '88, believe it or not. We played Saudi Arabia away. And whenever I think of playing for England, it's always Euro '96. I played in... Yeah, that one. So when I first saw it, I went into the dressing room and they said, oh, we've got a new kit for you. But I hadn't really seen it. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, my God, you're kidding. And I looked and the shorts were red and the socks were like... And I was like, really? This is the one for me.
Really?
What
makes that one so special for you, David?
Better memories. I wore that against Germany in the shootout. I wore that against Spain and Scotland. Better results. Beat Scotland, beat Spain in the shootout. And I saved a few penalties in that.
Of course, happier memories. I'm
yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the shootout and the agony around it.
Obviously, we all know what happened with Gareth. His penalty was saved. But the weird thing was, I remember when I think it was Muller scored the final penalty, and I remember like going down to my knees, thinking, "Oh no, we're out of the tournament," But then this feeling of, well, hang on a minute, we've done something really special here. All right, we haven't got to the final, but we've helped England fans love the England team again. Because I felt that they were falling out of love with us a little bit. There's a lot of negative press before this tournament, but it was a special time. It was a time where England fans just got behind the team more and more and more the further we went.
Yeah, let's have some fun. All right, let's go to my memorabilia section.
Right.
I've been waiting to speak to you about this because again, around the whole Euro '96, there was a lot. You had the Pro Stars memorabilia.
Yeah.
You had the collectibles, the magazine stickers and collectibles. But your merch game, my goodness. David,
I know.
they literally had your head on a mug.
Look at that.
Any future goalkeepers, you want a man like David, drink from his mug.
Exactly. You know, that's like ponytail was on its way. It was like long hair. But like people think that I had the ponytail forever.
But it's such an iconic part.
I know,
of
and,
your look, though,
it was. Look at the guys on that stag do.
No, because literally,
brilliant.
whether it's Halloween, we're gonna dress up as David Seaman. Yeah, if it's a stag do, we're dressing up as David Seaman. But it's now a part of like history. This look is iconic.
Do you know what I want to do? I want to go to the darts at Ali Pali dressed as me. But like put a tash on and a ponytail, one of my shirts, and see what happens.
That would be iconic. And you know what? I'm going to come with you, David. The next time you do that, I'm going to be there. Like your security. We'll turn up.
But like you say, the ponytail was only there. If you look at Euro 2000, I didn't have the ponytail when I was playing in that. Yeah. It came after that. I remember wearing a ponytail for the first time in training at Arsenal.
What did some of the teammates?
All the lads started saying, what is that? Yeah. So then the goalies went out with Bob Wilson, and we started training because we go out half an hour before, and then all the lads, so like Thierry, Dennis, Wright, all them, come running round, and they've all got like bandanas on and ponytails sticking out the back. They went, "All right, Dave."
And you said that some of the pro stars, you got most of them, but there was one that you said that you don't actually have.
I know, that one, with the ponytail. That's like epic.
That's probably going for a nice little...
Yeah. Oh, look over there.
What did you say, David?
Yeah,
it's amazing. No,
that's definitely coming home with me.
That's amazing. But, you know, you must feel like you're immortal. Like, really and truly. I mean, you got... That's the thing that I'm sure all young footballers want. They want to kind of be a star, like a large.
And a lot of it happens now, you know, and a lot of it happens, you know, and especially with social media being what it is, you know, you can become really famous, you know, but, you know, I did it doing my job, you know, and it was something that I loved, and, you know, like to see all these, you know, and I won a L Style Award as well, you know, like back in the day, and I was like so proud of stuff like that.
Yeah, they should have put you on Vogue front cover. I want to talk about someone who I would like to find out what he was like on a night out.
Oh my God.
Gaza. Go on, David, you got one story about Gaza, surely.
So that picture, I know exactly where that's from.
Yeah, play by play, please.
We went to a premiere, so we went from there out to go and get a taxi, and as we were walking up the street to the taxi, that's when these pictures were taken. And Gaza looks the worst for wear. He's like, how come I look like that and you look like you hadn't had a drink?
What was nightlife etiquette like when you, as a professional footballer? Because nowadays you see more of the guys, they're out and about on a weekend. Was there a day in the week where you could let your hair down and go out?
Yeah, well, we had it's a very famous club called the Tuesday Club, you know, and the Arsenal players, we would go out on a Tuesday night, well, Tuesday afternoon into the night, because we knew we had Wednesday off. You know, George Graham knew that we were doing this, so he would give us a real physical on Tuesday morning. And then we'd go out, you know, and we'd let our hair down and we'd have fun, and like a lot of the team would come, you know, so it was great bonding for the team, great, you know, just for us all to be together away from football, and it really worked, you know, and that's where that came from. But then we started like getting more successful, so then we had midweek games and stuff like that. So then you can't do it, you know. Then when Arsene came, you know, if you'd had a couple of beers the night before and you went into training, you stood out, because the standards he demanded in training were massive, you know, and he would pick players from training sometimes as well, you know, so you had to be right on it. You had to be like really on it. So that went a little bit, you know, but you still find time to relax after games and stuff, you know, and, you know, stuff like that. That's brilliant.
Before we go, we're going to talk about your reality TV era.
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay. Dancing on Ice, Masked Dancer. All right, cool.
Wow, look at that. I've got a Ryan Giggs chest going on there.
What was going on there? Firstly, who's your stylist?
I don't know. That was like a Tequila Sunrise or a Tequila Slammer or whatever you call it.
Yeah, definitely.
But do you know what? I love the skating. I really love the skating. And we still skate today, me and my wife, Frankie. and then the masked dancer. Wow. So that costume was so hot, it was unreal. But the show itself is so secretive, you know.
Really?
So we were dancing on there, and we did not know who it was that we were dancing against. We didn't know any of the other contestants until the programme came out on TV. They cover you in black, so they can't tell anything. You've got visors on, you've got gloves on, you've got a sweatshirt with saying "Do not speak to me" written on the front.
Are you serious?
And then they were like, it's so secretive. And then they went, "Don't you even laugh, because everybody knows you'll laugh."
So even if you had an iconic ponytail and stash, it still wouldn't have worked.
Nobody would have known. They only knew when we were on the TV. And the only reason I did that is because I was dancing with my wife. I would never have done that on my own. Yeah. You know, I'm not a dancer. You'll never see me doing Strictly. You know, but doing that, we did like these, you know, dance steps and that. We did a lot of ice skating lifts on it and everything. But it was good fun. Yeah. And all of them, if I'm honest, were good fun. That's
amazing. David Seaman, thank you so much for joining me on What I Wore.
Brilliant.
One thing that's left to do, if there was one you would want to take with you, what jersey would you take?
Oh, wow.
If you had one, you got one to take, put on your mantelpiece, or maybe just have some memories when you get home.
That one.
Of course it was going to...
It's that one, because that's my first Arsenal jersey.
That's the one, isn't it?
And my first season, we won the league. You know, I was under a massive load of pressure wearing that. You know, not only because I'd become Arsenal's #1, I took over from John Lukey, so I had to show people what I could do. And then we go and win the league. I think I let in 18 goals all season. Wow. So, yeah, it's got to be that one.
That's a true keeper right there. Colt Kits, we need to get this over to David Seaman immediately. On that note, What I Wore, my name is Kenny Your-Star, with the legend David Seaman. Thank you for watching. Until next time, David.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you
Loved it.
Let's go.